This is the official Titans podcast.
Yes, it is.
It is known as the OTP. I am not Amy Wells. She is in charge of everything, but she is celebrating her husband and his time in football in Jacksonville, Florida. Congratulations to Josh, by the way. They've traveled down there to celebrate and honor Josh at a high school football game. So I'm Taylor Zarzour, sitting in for Amy. And I have two people to help me today. The man that is the executive producer of Titans Radio. He's the host of Titans Radio. He does incredible imitations that we are not going to air on OTP. He is Rhett Bryan. Rhett, say hello to the people, please.
Hello, people. OT people, as a matter of fact.
That's right. Well done. And the head coach of Titans Radio is Dave McGinnis. Coach Mack, how are we feeling today?
Doing great. Doing good. I mean, we're here to talk a little ball, and I'm glad that you put that out there that Rhett will not be doing imitations on OTP.
There's not an invitation for the imitations.
The man in black, or as John Gruden calls you, Johnny Cash, you've worn that jacket this week. It's been colder in Nashville, Tennessee.
You and I were standing on the practice field today. It was a little bit, as they say in West Texas, brisk.
Yes.
It's a little brisk out there.
We went indoors on Wednesday this week. We hadn't been in the bubble, I don't think, this season until yesterday.
Well, we needed to because it was raining.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that bubble is a big, big improvement on the way the bubble used to be when I first came here. This whole place is really what Amy Adams-Strunk has done with this whole facility has been amazing.
I know that Davis Nolan is our chief meteorologist for Titans Radio, correct?
He is.
Like that's his official title this year, is it not?
That's correct.
Yes. I mean, he's retired from all the other things he's doing, but he still is working for Titans Radio.
Yes.
And I know that you have a deep passion for meteorology, Rhett.
I do.
And on Sunday, the forecast looks awfully nice.
It does. Now, there's still a 2 in 10 chance of showers, but, compared to what we've had weather-wise this week, it is a stark contrast of the positive nature. And you know who else is big in meteorology, who's really interested in it? Wide receiver Van Jefferson.
Oh, is that right?
He is.
Ravenwood High School's Van
He
Jefferson.
absolutely did. I did a school program with he and T-Rack and the Titans cheerleaders, and we were talking about what do you want to do after football. He thinks he wants to go back to school to go to meteorology school.
He is someone that notices our Titans radio broadcasts. Clearly, he's got people in Brentwood, Tennessee that are listening.
Sure.
And because he came up to me on the practice field in the last week and he said, hey, man, I love that you say Ravenwood High School, Brentwood, Tennessee when I make a play. And I said, well, it's going to continue. Van Jefferson, starting wide receiver for your Tennessee Titans. Pretty cool to have a local product. So, Coach, we've been out there watching practice this week, and we have seen an offense that is improving as the season has gone along. We saw improvement against the Patriots, improvement against the Colts. I think the critical thing that Mike McCoy, the interim head coach, keeps talking about is let's turn that improvement into a full football game.
Yeah, and they that's what they need to do. I mean, it just look, you don't just go into it thinking you go into it thinking by series, and that's what they need to do. They need to string series together. And from what you're saying, from what Mike said, the last 2 weeks, the first series and really the first quarter and a half of the game has been, we're talking offensively now, there's been some flow to it. There's been some rhythm to it. But what happens is, my analogy for it is it's a little bit like a chain on a bicycle skipping a sprocket, where you got two sprockets. You got the big one and the small one. When it starts skipping, then all of a sudden you can still pedal it, but it's just not going as smooth. We need to keep this thing smooth for 4 quarters because when they're competing at that level that they were in the first quarters, you got a chance. But the thing that happens is, and the defense has a part in this too. I mean, it's all forms together. But when the score gets separated, and separation of score in the National Football League because of how close everything. If when you get a 3 to a 2 to a 3 score separation, it changes your whole mindset. It really does, and especially for a young team and a young quarterback and a young offense. You fall behind like that, you start pressing, and once you start pressing, not good things happen.
It's a good point, Rhett. I mean, we have not been able to see Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard really carry the football in the second half the last couple of weeks because of exactly what Coach Mack's talking about.
Yeah, and you can look at the numbers from the game books of every game in the second half almost, and you can see those numbers drastically change from what it started out to be. And, yeah, I would love to see them hang in there where they could actually get that 1-2 punch going. That'd be great.
The thing that has to happen, and both you guys, I mean, we sit together up there and we dissect this pretty heavily before the game, and then during it. I mean, you can tell there's moments in time when you've got to take advantage of moments in time in a National Football League game, and they haven't been able to grab those moments that can flip a game, and you flip a game, by being able to make that first down rather than kicking it back to them. And all of a sudden, I mean, all of those types of things, when you look at it in totality, make a huge difference. They need to start flipping these ball games in moments in time, not anything drastic, but when it presents itself, make the play that's going to make a difference.
Coach, you've been in this position before, taking over the Arizona Cardinals in the middle of the season about a quarter century ago. And Mike McCoy has talked about the culture of the team is strong. There's no toxicity, as you've seen with some teams that have gone through rough seasons in the National Football League. He said there's none of that. And we certainly can agree with that, too. We've been around the team every day, and we do. We see a team that works hard, that has very good chemistry. We've also heard Coach McCoy talking about developing these young players. If you talk to anybody in the Titans organization, they'll tell you that. I'll ask you the same thing I asked Keith Bullock on Titans tonight. How important is it also to win?
It's everything.
Because you went through this a quarter of a century ago, and you wanted to do everything you could to allow your young players to experience winning so that they would be prepared for that in the future.
Yeah, and winning, I mean, for everybody, and I say everybody, I'm talking to the OTP listeners, winning is the reward in this business. Winning is what brings all this together. Winning is why everybody comes to watch, because that feeling that you get as a group in totality when you win a game, I mean, it lasts the whole week. It really does. And so when you don't get that reward, look, we're all going to look. Everybody's sitting here. You two guys are. I'm not. You two guys are rich. You guys, everybody makes money in this league. Everybody does.
That's news to me, but go ahead.
But that's not the reward in this business. The reward in this business is winning games. And you've got enough young players to this league on this football team that need that feeling. Just go back to, and as improbable as it was a win in Arizona. That was just a totally different vibe.
Yes.
It's a totally different feeling. It's a totally different feeling for everybody that is concerned with Titans football. So Keith is not wrong. And look, Keith was here for some rough times too. I mean, we had to clear a cap, and he lost a lot of his friends, salary cap casualties, and all of a sudden, I mean, he was extended because he was a guy that we were going to build on, but he looked around and said, "Where is everybody?"
Yeah.
But eventually, we started building it back up, and then became the number one seed in the league again. But it's a process that you go through. But Keith is right. The reward in this business is winning, and that's it.
Very important, Rhett, for these players to get that experience. They're trying everything they can to come out on top.
Yeah, that's the only real experience they haven't had a whole big taste of. They're getting snaps and reps galore in football games. It's the end result is that when they've tasted just once out of the first 8 tries.
I want to make this real clear to you. This card right here, Rhett Bryan wore this out in Mississippi last week at the Mississippi State-Texas game. Okay?
Well, first of all, you gave him access to it.
That's true.
All right, that's your fault.
He earned it. He did an incredible job spotting for me on television and then on the radio last weekend. So he can use it as much as he wants. He's my teammate. You know what, Rhett? I see some new names on this board right here. We have our charts that we print out each week that have all the players on it, and all of us are using it each and every Sunday for Titans games. And I see a couple new names on here. I see number 21, Micah Robinson, a rookie out of Tulane that was drafted in the 7th round by the Green Bay Packers, and he comes over here to the Titans, and we could see 21 make a play on Sunday. It's that time of year, Rhett, where a guy's been on your team for a couple of days, and it's next man up. Roger McCreary traded to the Rams earlier this week. Micah Robinson, come on down.
It has happened many times before, and it will happen again, where guys have been brought in first part of the week and end up playing on Sunday. Now, Micah Robinson, if I'm not mistaken, he's got speed.
Oh, yeah.
He's a fast dude.
He's a 4.3 guy.
Right.
Yeah, no, I was watching him fly around at practice. You're right about that. And, Coach, we also have a guy from Harvard, Truman Jones, who was on the practice squad with New England earlier this season, is now playing for the Tennessee Titans.
Well, what you're seeing now, I mean, and this is, with a roster like this, and especially with the way the injuries are, they're both of you guys have been deep sea fishing. I know when you chum the water, they're chumming the bottom of the roster. They have to now, and you talk about Gruden when Gruden was getting on to me about being Johnny Cash.
He was.
When I was down there talking with him. He's still salty about that game where I brought a group in there from Arizona
Yeah, he is.
to the Coliseum that wasn't. I mean, that was kind of pieced together, piecemeal, and beat his team. Right at the end in overtime. But in that game, I had a corner that we had just signed that had only been on the practice field for one day and had to play. And so what I did is I said, by quarters, when they flip, because you understand when you flip quarters and you change insides of the field, you come to my side of the field, on the right side or the left side, and I'll tell you what to do every play. So just let's do that. So you do what you have to do in this league with this type of situation, but you make it work.
Gruden is not over that game. I just want to make that clear. That game happened 20-plus years ago, and I am here to tell you he is not over it.
He's the best.
He was a beauty down there. Okay, let's see. Amy has left us a note, Rhett.
Okay.
She said, we have covered all of the Christie cookie flavors so far this season, and they would love us to highlight their Christmas 10 offering this week with their
nice.
You like that?
Very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. So she said there's all sorts of flavors in here, so it's time for our Christie cookie break, and I love the Christie cookie break. So, Coach, we have I'm gonna let you go first.
Thank you very much.
We have brownies in there.
I will go first.
We got oatmeal. We got sugar cookies.
This is triple chocolate brownie. That's Coach Mack.
Okay.
There it is, right there.
You got oatmeal raisin in there.
I'm going oatmeal raisin. That's exactly
Really?
what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Now my favorite Christie cookie is the white chocolate chip macadamia nut. Those are king.
Well, here it is. You want to trade or
No, I'm good. I'm still going oatmeal raisin.
All right.
Here's the thing.
Trade.
Here's the thing about it. There's not a bad Christie cookie.
No.
That's the thing.
This is my favorite part of the show, and we're going to have a Christie cookie break right now.
You know whose favorite part of the show it is, 80 Wells.
Oh, I know it is. Yes. Christie Cookie can create custom holiday tins for any size business. You can visit ChristieCookies.com. That's ChristieCookies.com, and click on Corporate Gifts for more information. To learn more and explore personal or corporate gifting options, visit ChristieCookies.com.
This is, you know what, doing the OTP is a lot of fun with you guys anyway, but this is a big bonus. Here's the other thing that I'd like to say real quick. We've got Snickers thing sitting here, and Halloween's coming up. So last year at this time, I took this whole thing, and this is what I handed out for Halloween. So I'm doing the same thing this year, just so everybody knows.
If your business does corporate gifting for the holidays, then check out ChristieCookies.com for customizable options available from as low as $26 per gift. I love Christie Cookies. Nashville's own.
It's an institution.
It is.
It really
an
is. They've been
institution.
around for a long time, and that's the thing about their cookies is they're just as good as the first time I ever tasted them many, many years ago.
I would like to know who the genius is at Christie Cookies who figured out triple chocolate brownie.
The same person who put toffee bits in these cookies. It's a game changer, I'm telling you.
It's genius.
I do love it very much. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Chargers. They've been the L.A. Chargers for over 5 years now, and I'm still not used to it.
I'm with you, Taylor. I go back a long way in this league, and
Well, Coach McCoy said it. He almost said it the other day.
Our man Keith Bullock really wanted to call them the San Diego Chargers, and it is kind of wild that San Diego does not have a professional football team to me. And Coach McCoy had some really meaningful years there. Obviously, as the head coach of the Chargers for 4 years. Very grateful to the Spanos family, who of course who of course hired him to be the head coach there as the owners of the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh coaching the Los Angeles Chargers in his second year. He, of course, was the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers before going back to college and coaching his Michigan Wolverines, who won the national championship 2 years ago. He left, came to the pros. He made it to the playoffs last year and lost in the wild card round. I'm wondering if this is a playoff team in 2025, Coach. That's a tough division that he's in. You got the Denver Broncos, who were a playoff team last year. You have the Chargers, and then you have the Chiefs, who even though that they already have lost 3 games, some think the Chiefs are still the team to beat in the National Football League.
Well, they are, until somebody beats them in at a meaningful time. I mean, with 17 games, too, you're going to have some peaks and valleys and ups and downs. But the Chargers, for 2 reasons. Jim Harbaugh, I mean, I was at the Bears when we drafted Jim. I've known Jim since he's been in this league as a player. He's always been a really, really good, solid, fundamental football coach. His teams are always going to be very, very physical. But what he has, and when he took over that job, he had a quarterback in place that is a difference maker, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah, Justin Herbert is one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League, Rhett. It's kind of hard to evaluate him because the AFC is just littered with great quarterbacks. You have Josh Allen in Buffalo. You have Joe Burrow in Cincinnati and Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. You obviously have Patrick Mahomes in his own division in the AFC West. And it is. I mean, you got all these guys, and you got new guys like Drake May with the Patriots who have gotten off to a good start in their career. But Herbert sort of quietly, at least in my opinion, has had, I mean, this is his 6th year in the National Football League, and he's thrown for over 23,000 yards with 153 touchdowns. And Coach was talking about this before we started. He can run the ball, too. I mean, the guy is over 1,400 yards rushing in the National Football League.
He's averaging 6.5 yards a carry right now.
This year, yeah.
He had 7 for 62 last Thursday night against the Vikings because they're injured at running back, and Kamani Vidal has had to step up in that stuff. But he's always had wheels. And then we haven't even talked about his passing prowess. Over 2,000 yards passing, 16 touchdowns to just 7 interceptions. Pass ratings way up there, nearly 68, 69% completion percentage. The weapons he has to choose from, there's a lot of them.
When you bring Hellman's Creamy Buffalo Chicken Dip to the watch party, you can cheer too loud, or block the TV, or be a couch coach, and no one will eject you from the game. That's a Hail Mayo. Hellman's, the official mayo of the Tennessee Titans. This summer, SeatGeek has your ticket to the best live concerts in Nashville at Nissan Stadium. SeatGeek makes it easy to catch world-conquering tours and high-wattage performances from your favorite artists all summer long. SeatGeek has the best seat, your seat, for an unforgettable summer. From rock royalty to rap superstars, R&B to country, find it all on SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of Nissan Stadium. It's your summer. Make it count. SeatGeek. Hey Titans fans, with a Kroger Boost membership, you'll score big with double fuel points, free delivery, and lots more. Go to Kroger.com/boost for details. Kroger, the official grocer of the Tennessee Titans. Tighten up. Now back to the OTP.
In fact, it's time for Little Caesars' Real Deal matchup of the game with our very own Keith Bullock.
Here's the deal. The matchup I'm most forward looking to see on Sunday is the safeties of the Tennessee Titans matching up against Oronde Gadsden Jr. of the Chargers. The tight end is a rookie. He has 7 catches for 140 yards and a touchdown against safeties alone, and he leads the entire NFL with tight end reception yards. So this is a challenge that I'd love to see the Titans secondary step up and handle.
There you go, Coach. You've been talking about Oronde Gadsden Jr. quite a bit, and Keith Bullock's talking about him too.
Yeah, well, they're both orange. I mean, they're both but Gadsden.
It's true, Syracuse guys.
Yeah, and when they were the San Diego Chargers, they've always had a monster tight end. That was an issue. That was a former basketball player also. I mean, that's kind of run throughout that. I mean, I was at Missouri with Kellen Winslow So just going clear back to that. And you know, for what he was. So that's nothing new for the Chargers organization. But this guy is a matchup problem, Taylor. When you really start, you know, when Rhett and I start get ready for an opponent, I drill the tape, and he does all the alphabet numbers, and then we put them together, and you know, to get a real clear picture of not only who the team is, but what to expect during the ball game. Like when you and I were talking, you know, during the ballgame, what to expect just by tendencies that they've shown. They're going to lean on this big tight end because the last 2 weeks, Rhett's got all the numbers, but he has been devastating matchup problem the last 2 weeks.
7 for 140 and a score against safeties in the last 2 games. There's the mismatch part. He's 6'5", 243, nearly an 82-inch wingspan. The other part of it, as a rookie, and this is the first time in about 10 years that a rookie tight end has led the National Football League at that position in yards per target. He's just about 12 yards per target there. And the wingspan, the catch radius, all of that. I mean, he's like a little better version of a guy that was there a few years ago that Mac and I vetted coming out of college at Stetson, the big giant tight end, Donald Parham, who was about 6'7", and had a huge – and he was, you know, used as a red zone threat. But he's just one of the pieces of the arsenal in this because there's 3 other wide receivers that the Titans secondary has to be concerned with.
Yeah, that's right. Gadsden is bigger than his dad, too. His dad was a big physical receiver and one of Dan Marino's favorites at the Dolphins late in Marino's career. But Aronde Jr., bigger, in fact, several inches taller than Senior was, but you just referenced those other receivers. Hey, Titans fans, get 15% off your Little Caesars order of $15 or more at participating stores using codes Titans15 at checkout. That's code Titans15 at checkout. Pizza excludes taxes and other fees. Thank you to Little Caesars for our matchup of the game.
Home is at the forefront of all we do. It's why we're so committed to caring for the places and spaces in which we work and live. Ashley, the official furniture provider of the Tennessee Titans. Genesis is the first and only official jeweler of the Titans, having earned that title since 2006. Titans players, coaches, and fans trust Genesis for the absolute best in selection, quality, customer service, and of course, value. For diamonds, engagement rings, designer fashion jewelry, and the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in Tennessee, Genesis is the hands-down winner. Genesis Diamonds in Green Hills and Cool Springs, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Keenan Allen, what a career he's had. He's in his 12th year. Lad McConkey.
That's a lie. He's been there. He's been in the league 200 years.
Lad McConkey's in his 2nd year out of the University of Georgia. And obviously, he's off to a really good start. Last year had, over 80 catches last year as a rookie, and already is on track to do that again this year. And then Quentin Johnston, I know, is the guy you were thinking about, Rhett, talking about who is a frog.
I mean, he's a frog. He's a frog all the way. He's got more touchdowns than anybody on this football team. I think he's got 6 touchdowns, doesn't he? 5 or 6 touchdowns.
He's got 5, yeah.
Yeah, he's the leading touchdown maker. And he had a slow start to his career. He had a slow start, but now you can see that his time on task, because I mean, I follow the Frogs pretty close down there. I mean, they got a lot of my money. Is that he is a guy that gets stronger as the season goes on, so he's a problem too.
And all 3 of those guys are 60+% target acquired catch probability. So 6 out of every 10 catches of those 3 dudes are catches, every target. So he's dealing the ball around.
What's it going to take to beat him, Coach? Got to get a turnover, don't we?
Well, the other thing that you have to do is you got to possess the football against them, because Jim Harbaugh is all about ball possession. He's all about ball possession. He's all about ball possession. He's all about series progression. And so if you possess the ball on them where you can interrupt their flow, that's what you have to be able to do. You have to be able to interrupt their flow for a while. And, you know, all of these guys that we've talked about, they are not going to be a problem if they're standing on the sideline. So you've got to possess the football offensively.
I was talking to Cam Ward the other day about this, and he knows this. When the when the bullets are flying and he's out there on the field, there have been a few times this year where he wishes he would have taken off and run the football or checked it down. And he's like, I got to take off. I got to run the ball in several different situations. He said, because I know that means that all of a sudden the safeties are going to play me a little differently if there is the threat of running. That's one thing that I'd love to see in this game this week is Cam show off those legs a little bit.
Well, the two things that young quarterbacks learn, first of all, is when and where to run.
Mm-hmm.
And the place not to run is on the perimeter because you're not going to outrun these people. You're just not. You know, I've had a couple in my career defending them that could outrun the angles. I mean, two. And I've been doing this for a long time. Everybody else needs to be able to take that A and that B gap or that C gap that opens up when it's a four-man rush. And especially if people are going to play you man-to-man, which people are doing quite a bit of, is playing a man-to-man, and their backs are turned to you. He needs to learn that, and he also needs to learn when the play's over. There's times when you've got to either ditch it or there's times when you've got to throw it in the stands and just take the ball back to the line of scrimmage where you were before rather than giving up yardage.
He will, as you said, time on task. We'll teach him those things, Rhett. That's a part of the learning curve in the National Football League.
Yeah, and they're growing up before our very eyes with the reps and snaps that they're getting. The other thing I'm looking at, the Chargers had a window where they were allowing a whole lot of explosive plays. So this number's a little inflated, but they're allowing nearly 5 yards per carry, 27th in the league in rushing on yards per carry allowed.
Watching the tape, they had a stretch there where they were giving up a lot of explosive plays. Now they had the score separated enough, where they were able to overcome that. But Rhett's right. They've given some of that stuff up.
They allowed 27 X plays from week 5 to week 7.
Well, let's hope it happens again on Sunday at Nissan Stadium. We get to make some touchdown calls, maybe call a winner on Sunday.
And do it at home.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. Let's call some touchdowns. Let's call a winner. And the great thing, like Rhett just said, Coach, is we get to stay in Nashville, Tennessee for the entire month of November.
Yeah, that's really. I mean, and we've been through it with this travel, but the schedule's the schedule. But now we've got, you got 4 at home, you got 1, then you get a break, which they need. They need the break, and then you got 3 straight at home, so you need to take advantage of this. The thing also, let me say something about Cam. The thing that he's learning to do that you can see just when you're doing the ball game and you're watching it, he's learning how now to throw people open. In the collegiate game, they wait till they're open to throw it.
Right.
He is learning now how to throw guys open, and lately, I mean, he has thrown some darts, and with really tight coverage. But he's learning that. He's learning now what the closing speed is. And all of that stuff. I mean, I can see that developing, and when that develops, because he's really, really blessed with a release and arm speed that is pretty incredible.
Yeah, he threw a sideline ball to Gunnar Helm last week. That was one I was thinking about when you were talking about throwing people open. Helm's second catch in that game would be a good example of that. So, look, these guys, especially Cam, are going to get better and better. We've watched Chim Dike, as the year has gone on, just get better and better and better. He's such a great special teamer, but now he's a first-string wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans. Alec Iomanor's caught at least a couple of balls, Rhett, in every game. Gunnar Helm's coming off his first touchdown in the National Football League. They're bright days for all these young guys out there.
There are. And Gunnar Helm, I'm as excited about as probably anybody, because if they can get down into the red zone, high or low, but preferably low, with regularity, Gunnar Helm will be a friend of Cam Ward.
Yeah, and I think all three of us agree too. I mean, we watched the ball game from the same spot. Is that having Tajay back helps too?
Oh yeah,
because it helps. It helps both of those running backs. And I think both these running backs are better when they're able to interchange in there. And so I think he's finally back to where he was after training camp when he was really, really healthy.
We should do a before and after of OTP of when in summer attire, when I was clean shaven, and not wearing a hat or glasses, and now here we are getting in November, Rhett, and I've got the full beard with you guys and glasses and the hat. We're wearing 3 layers.
Hoodies.
Yeah, things have changed in
Yep.
the last couple of months.
Yep.
Gotten cold out here.
You got to be able to adapt.
That's right. Yes, you do.
Adapt.
Yes, you do. Well, I can't wait to be there at the stadium. No traveling for the Titans for the month of November. Those flight attendants get a break from all of Rhett Bryan's orders on the airplane. Now we get to be at home throughout the month of November here in Nashville. Very fired up to be here, and we'll be fired up to welcome Amy Wells back here in the weeks to come on the OTP. I'm Taylor Zarzour filling in for Amy today. That's Rhett Bryan. That's the coach, Dave McGinnis. Thank you for watching the OTP here with the Tennessee Titans.